Real Sports Talk Bermuda, hosted by Earl Baisden, will present a live one-hour special in-depth analysis on the island's culture in sport. What must be done for improvements, attitudes in sports, success with our former athletes representing the country internationally, and sports administration. Guests include former athletes, influential persons within the sporting community, and the athletes of today. Join us for this special two-part series beginning Tuesday, November 27th at 8 p.m. on ZFB TV7 and again Tuesday, December 4th on ZFB TV7 at 8 p.m. That's Real Sports Talk Bermuda, hosted by Earl Baisden, which is brought to you by the Department of Youth, Sports, and Recreation.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, the 26th of November. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us. The government's latest labor force survey covering the years between 2013 and 2018 reveals the number of unemployed persons dropping slightly, with more Bermudians employed in the workforce. Tarai Trott takes a glimpse at the numbers.
The labor force survey covers private households and surveyed 1,500 homes. Among the findings, the study shows that in 2013, the number of unemployed people stood at 2,370, decreasing to 2,034 in 2018. However, the official unemployment rate of 6% stood unchanged over 2013. When it came to the number of Bermudians employed in the workforce versus non-Bermudians, 26,316 Bermudians were employed in 2013, increasing to 30,516 in 2018. At the same time, the survey is showing the number of foreign workers dramatically decreasing over 2013, when just over 8,100 foreigners held jobs compared to just over 4,000 in 2018. However, the study is showing that the disparity over the median gross annual income decreasing when comparing Bermudians to non-Bermudians. In 2013, non-Bermudian annual income was at more than $87,000 versus just over $59,000 for Bermudian. Fast forward 5 years later, the survey shows non-Bermudian workers earning just $3,000 more than Bermudians in terms of median gross annual income at just over $66,000. Elsewhere, the report shows white workers continuing to earn more than their black counterparts. In 2013, the median gross annual income for whites stood at more than $89,000 versus just over $57,000 for blacks. Fast forward to 2018, and the findings show white workers still earning more, albeit by a smaller margin. White workers earned just over $78,000 in 2018 compared to more than $58,000 for blacks. Meanwhile, the study reveals more seniors aged 65 and over were in the workforce this year compared to 5 years ago. 2,375 employed in 2013 compared to 2,655 in 2018, a difference of 280 people. Fewer people in the workforce in 2018 held a formal degree compared to the number of those with a degree in 2013. 12,825 people had such a qualification in 2013 compared to 12,012 people this year, a difference of 813 people. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Tarai. With the amount of money Skyport stands to make from passenger tax, let them pay for any incentives to get the airlines here. That's the thinking of Tourism Minister Zane De Silva, but Skyport says we're all in this together. This in the aftermath of Minister De Silva's statement on airline incentives during Friday's sitting of the House of Assembly. Gary Moreno tells us more.
Mr. De Silva maintains the airport deal has deprived hard-working tax-paying families of this country a vital national asset, as well as the significant revenues that it generates. And as such, it would be unthinkable for taxpayers to be forced to bear the financial responsibility of airline incentives, which in the past have included minimum revenue guarantees.
All the income from all our passengers goes to Skyport. So we think it's time that Skyport start, assisting the airlines. Because remember, every person that comes to Bermuda, Skyport will get their percentage. So it's our take that, well, look, while you're receiving all the income, well, then you should be participating and assisting the airlines with their marketing and getting heads in the seats.
Mr. De Silva adamant that the manner in which the airport deal was done means the developer and the management company should not expect taxpayers to help foot the bill for airline incentives for an airport they won't own for another 30 years.
That airport was given to Acorn and Skyport, and they have a job to do. And outside of running and building the airport, they also have a responsibility to the people of this country. It's a lot of revenue that they're going to get from the tourists that come and the visitors that come to this island and the locals that are using the airlines, and they need to play their part.
Taking Mr. De Silva to task on the issue, former Premier Michael Dunkley says the minister ought to know better and accuses him of political grandstanding. Mr. Dunkley argues Mr. De Silva's assertions simply, well, don't fly.
Let me be very clear. While all partners need to be involved in that, Skyport, BTA, I would hope that it's the government is leading on that vision on where new routes will come from. Remember, Gary, the airport is being built, and the airport is now being managed by Skyport. It's their job to make sure people have the best experience when they arrive and when they leave Bermuda. I wouldn't want to put them in total control of where the next airline route should come from. That's the minister's responsibility.
It is understood that government has provided in the region of $500,000 in airline incentives for each of the last 9 years. Mr. De Silva, though, would not comment on this claim, citing confidentiality clauses in the agreements with the airlines. However, the Bermuda Tourism Authority has made no secret of its $1.6 million marketing assist agreement with JetBlue. A spokesperson for the BTA reminded the basic idea is the airline and the BTA agreed to match dollar for dollar on marketing so that all investment is spent on trying to fill the airline seats up front, unlike a minimum revenue guarantee to pay for seats which don't get filled. Elsewhere, the LF Wade International Airport Redevelopment Project Agreement Review indicates that revenue sharing and enhanced traffic growth initiatives, including an initial $1.3 million air service development and tourism promotion commitment, is to be funded by Skyport. Asked to comment on Minister De Silva's statement, a spokesperson for Skyport told us that the company and its partners are actively pursuing numerous air service development initiatives designed to open up new routes to and from Bermuda and introduce competition on existing ones. The government is central to the success of these efforts, and Skyport is pleased to continue working with the Minister, the Bermuda Tourism Authority, the Bermuda Airport Authority, and other stakeholder groups to enhance air services to the island. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
More to come after this short break, including all the latest weather news. Stay with us.
Shopping online? The cheapest and easiest way to bring your packages to Bermuda is with U.S. Express at mailboxes.
I've been a U.S. Express customer for a long time, and I stay a customer because it's fast, easy, and convenient.
You get the automatic call when your package is here, and just the pickup is easy. The street's not too crazy there, but you can just swing by, boom, down the steps, get your package, and off you go.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account at www.mailboxesunlimited.com today.
At Argus, our interest is you. Each of you. Around here, we know that when two people seem the same, they can have very different insurance needs. For their health, home, work, and future. Which is why we take the time to get to know you as an individual, so we can provide insurance coverage that fits your life. Because after all, our interest is you.
The year-end clearance sale is now on at Bermuda Motors. Cargo ships bringing our 2019 models will be arriving soon. To make room, we're offering the lowest prices of the year on these models. Ford Figo, our hatchback with cutting-edge technology. Ford EcoSport, big on comfort, safety, and power. Toyota Avenza, the perfect balance of style and function. Toyota Prius C, our fuel-efficient 5-door hybrid. So hurry, prices are available until the end of the year or while our inventory lasts at Bermuda Motors.
Treat yourself and your loved ones this Christmas at Diamonds International in Dockyard. Sensational tanzanite bracelets, gorgeous Crown of Light diamond necklaces, and the limited edition Hublot Crown of Light Big Bang watch. During the holidays, there is 15 to 75% off all merchandise, and this watch as a free gift with every purchase. Plus 5% of all shopping proceeds will be donated to the LCCA charity. Come see the stunning store in Dockyard and see why Diamonds International is always the perfect choice.
Thanks again for staying with us. If it isn't broke, then don't fix it. That's the thinking of the Shadow Tourism Minister Leah Scott in reaction to legislative amendments that, if passed by the Senate, would allow the tourism minister to appoint board members to the island's tourism authority. Government says the amendments are necessary in order to ensure the social and economic enhancement of the country. However, Ms. Scott told Try Trot the BTA is already performing well, and this attempt is purely political.
Gives the developers the ability.
New Tourism Minister Zane De Silva says he wants to look under the hood of the Tourism Authority and ensure the BTA doesn't stray from the government's mandate of ensuring the social and economic enhancement of Bermuda, which is why the minister has proposed amendments to the BTA legislation, allowing him the power to appoint members to the BTA's board, which currently is free to elect their own members.
He also has the ability to appoint members of the board when the current members' terms expire.
But the Shadow Tourism and Transport Minister Leah Scott does not agree. She believes the legislation is unnecessary.
There is a term limit currently, or was in the previous legislation, but now essentially board members can have an evergreen term, which means that they don't ever have to come off of the board. And the rationale that the minister gave for that was because it will provide consistency and continuity, which I get it, I understand that. But after a while, consistency and continuity then can translate into being stale dated. No good ideas can come forth. You've got to make changes every now and then.
Ms. Scott is acutely aware, however, of the belief that so long as the BTA is funded by taxpayers, the government should have the power to give it direction.
I understand that the BTA should be able to provide an accounting to the government of how they spend the money. But they shouldn't be directed by the government. You know, I give money to charities. I give money to the Family Center. So once I make a donation, I don't then call Martha and say, okay, I've given you a donation. I want you to spend it this way, or I want you to spend it that way. Once that money has been released or the grant's been given to the BTA, they should be able to use that money to fund the best initiatives that they believe will support their objectives.
BTA Chief Executive Kevin Dallas drew controversy and raised eyebrows when in December of 2017 he appealed to senators directly, urging them to reject government's domestic partnership bill, believing it would harm tourism. It emerged later his intervention was without the permission of the BTA board. Then there's the BTA's record of paying its staff large bonuses and salaries, with the former chief executive Bill Hanbury taking home a $295,000 salary in 2014, plus an $88,000 bonus, and plus a $75,000 housing allowance. Ms. Scott accepts that all of these events at the BTA may have led to government's determination to have greater control, but
I think that it should be those shouldn't be factors that determine whether or not the government should interfere in its direction. Do you know what I mean? So he's outspoken. Yeah, but you know why he's outspoken? Because we're affecting a market. We're affecting a market of people that comes to Bermuda, that wants to come to Bermuda, that contributes to our economy.
Now all eyes are on the Senate, which must vote to approve the bill before it can become law. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Weather now in a fairly clear but chilly day today. We can expect a few showers, however, tomorrow morning and into the afternoon. Let's head over to the AccuWeather headquarters for this week's outlook.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast here on ZBM is brought to us by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group, and we have had a wet weekend, and we're going to hold on to the active weather pattern here for another day or two as the next front is approaching from the west. You can see a lot of rain out there. We're looking at the cloud tops there with that particular view, and here you can see a couple of data issues, so forgive that in the satellite world, but you can see there are a lot of clouds approaching, and the first round of widespread rain has pushed away to the east, and that's been a pretty rapid exodus. But near the end of this loop, you can see what's happening off to the west. The next round is rapidly approaching. So the message here is that while we have had a little bit of a break in the action, it's not going to last long. We're going to get right back into a wet weather pattern very soon. Right now, humidity is holding at around 65%. Winds somewhat active, not terribly strong. From the west at 5 to 10 knots. Water temps at 74. On the inside, we have 1 to 2 foot waves, but on the outside, we're dealing with 3 to 7 foot wave heights, and temperatures up again above where they were late last week when we really cooled down. So we have a lot going on when it comes to the marine forecast. A small craft warning is in effect now. that will be upgraded to a gale warning late Wednesday morning through most of Wednesday afternoon. So small craft warning for now, gale warning at the middle of the week, and we recently had a low tide. The tide's coming back in, and it will continue to do so until 10:55 tonight. Low tide then will follow at 5:02 Tuesday morning, and then another high tide at midday on your Tuesday, 11:24 a.m. So tonight, mostly cloudy, occasional showers, and periods of rain out there, and then eventually we will see the chance for a thunderstorm late at night. Maybe a rumble of thunder or two late tonight into the early hours of Tuesday. We'll have a breezy setup tomorrow with that front on the doorstep approaching from the west. Periods of showers and lots of clouds with that breeze. 76 degrees for your high. Futurecast will show here it comes, the next round of rain and the shifting wind associated with the front. So showers become more likely into the morning and into the day tomorrow through Tuesday afternoon and evening. The rain will intensify for a time. And it's possible that we could see another round of some localized flooding in areas of poor drainage into Tuesday evening and Tuesday night. When we look at the current conditions down into the Caribbean and the current setup, a nice weather pattern in Jamaica. Barbados, a couple of showers. Trinidad and Tobago, some showers. No tropical threats. And officially, hurricane season is not yet over, but it does really ramp down this time of the year, the likelihood of trouble. And officially, it ends at the end of the month. So that is coming up very, very soon. Into eastern North America, cold with snow showers in Toronto. New York chilling down again, 47 degrees, but drier than it was today as we look at the Tuesday forecast. Boston, similarly chilly but drier. Atlanta, very nippy out there. That's some pretty good cold air for the Mid-South, for the southeastern United States. In Miami, some showers. London also looking cooler and wet. Locally, showers, breezy, and maybe a rumble of thunder early Tuesday. Very wet into Tuesday evening. Chance for a rumble of thunder with the front. Wednesday, still damp, and then we'll turn a little drier and somewhat cooler, but not as nippy, not as cool as it was late last week. So if that's your forecast, we'll send it back to you.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I was diagnosed with illness. Very frightening because my son had just turned 1 and it was a cancer. So I'm young, new baby, and I needed to get the care that I knew would be definitive so that I wanted to be around for him for a very long time. I got in contact with BF&M, and BF&M was able to commit at that time to doing at least 50%, so we were comfortable, okay, well, we're gonna go. We got off the plane, actually, the day of the procedure, and on my way to the limo, my case manager called and she says, Kiana, we got it, you're covered at 100%. And I cried all the way to the office because I was just so happy. The BF&M difference is that I really felt that the case manager really was concerned about my overall care. And because of that, I really appreciated them. I think that personal care, that willingness to listen, and then to work until they were able to get it so that I could get full coverage really made the difference for me.
Surface Terms has been serving Bermuda for over 25 years, supplying and installing tile and natural stone. We have a large in-stock selection of beautiful porcelain wood planking, including our exclusive Bermuda cedar tile. You will also find Bermuda's best in-stock selection of countertops, including natural granites, exotic quartzites, and silestone engineered quartz in all the newest colors. Our team will be happy to help you. Stop by our showroom at 17 Serpentine Road or give us a call at 295-8005.
Christmas in Bermuda is a special time for most of us. Unfortunately, for some families in Bermuda, there's no warm Christmas. This year, many families will be in need. It's the 30th anniversary of the Lions Clubs of Bermuda and the Marketplace, helping share the Christmas spirit, so let's help take care of each other. Shop at any Marketplace, shopping center, Modern Mart, or A1 stores, and purchase extra tins of non-perishable items. Once you have purchased these items, place your food donation into Santa's bin located at the front of the store. The Lions Clubs will collect your food contributions and assemble them into hampers to be delivered to the families in need around the island. Christmas comes once a year. Help make it a special time for every family in Bermuda. Sponsored in part by the Bermuda Broadcasting Company. Share the Christmas spirit.
From the very beginning, it was always our singular focus to do whatever it takes, use every possible resource to fight cancer, and never lose sight of the patients we're fighting for. Our cancer treatment specialists share the same vision. Experts from all over the world working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. And these are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com. Appointments available now.
Thanks for staying with us. Elder statesman Sir John Swanson tonight urging the regulatory authority to grant another extension on the public consultation period on Bermuda's energy future. The former premier and businessman, along with his collaborator Michael Murphy, are critical of the accessibility to information on the 8 energy generation proposals submitted to the RA for review. Sir John believes this Friday's November 30th deadline for people's input ought to be delayed.
Every time I talk to somebody, I keep referring to the website. Check our website. Well, that's not the way to go about it. A public discourse that affects everybody, every man, woman, and child. That's why I became involved with this, and I feel as though that government, particularly since they gave this throne speech, which I thought was an excellent presentation on the throne speech on the subject, so I'm not in any way. They've set up the commission on power, the authority. But I think that somebody needs to step back, and the only person who can step this back is government. Give this thing more time so that we can look at alternative forms of energy. And maybe what we could start looking at really is, we have our tanks, we have our water, we save our water, we have more to use at a longer period. Maybe what we start looking at is, how can we energize Bermuda on an individual basis and use Belco as a supplement, as opposed to thinking as Belco as the only means possible.
Mr. Murphy argues in order for any successful integrated resource plan to work, the government, the RA, and Bermuda's sole electricity provider, Belco, should be on the same page.
If you have solar on your roof, Belco charges you $40 a month instead of $30. That's inconsistent. They should be together. And we need to trust that the deals that they enter with private sector people, they're going to respect. They cited, Mr. Pimentel cited in his op-ed piece that they get 4.5 megawatt, I think it was, from the roofs of 475 houses where they ran this experiment. But unfortunately, they reneged on the deal they had with these people in that the investment that the people thought they were making and getting a similar government subsidy 8 years ago, suddenly they canceled the relationship. And then instead of getting your power back and forth at an equal price, the regulatory authority decided that you can sell your power from the home at the lowest price at 17 cents. But if you buy any of it back, not just up to the top of what you need, but any of it, but you buy back for the evening lights or air conditioning, you have to pay the 47-cent rate. That was not the contract that we entered. If you talk to Belco, they said, oh, it's a regulatory authority that changed it. It's a violation of contract. If you were in the States, there would have been a class action suit. But here it's different in Bermuda. And so I think these pieces have to be coordinated.
Michael Murphy and Sir John Swan. Education Minister Diala Rabane admits that the training of teachers on the new grading system was inadequate. West Pembroke school teachers are on a work-to-rule due to a shortage of staff and insufficient time with the new grading system.
The problem we have here is that this is a grading system that all of the teachers and the BUT have said this is what we want to do. This is where we're going. This is the best thing. It's going to improve teaching standards. It's going to improve the way that we can grade our children and get accurate statuses of where they are within their learning. But the problem that we have here is that this system was rolled out about 3 years ago under the former minister, Minister Scott, and then continued under Minister Cole. The problem that we discovered once we came in, and it was only really discovered this year, and when we first started talking about it, was that all of the training that had taken place in the previous years leading up to this was inadequate. And when it comes to training, unless it wasn't until we got into this particular year and we knew it was going to be implemented in 2018 in September, that's when the flags start going up to say, wait a minute, the training we've been having for the last couple of years is just totally inadequate. But they don't think that we're ready for it. So what we did is initially we met with the BUT in May of this year, and we pulled together a plan. The Department of Education and BUT officials met and put together a plan that said, okay, we will work this during the summer. We then met again in September and looked, and one of the questions was, how is this working out? And they still expressed reservations that teachers were still not quite where they wanted to be.
Mr. Urbane speaking there during last Friday's sitting of the House of Assembly. Still to come, sports news in just a few minutes.
Bermuda Broadcasting Company and lead sponsor HSBC is pleased to present the annual Christmas Boat Parade 2018. Join me, Keeble the Captain Burgess.
And me, co-host Diane Carlson, live from the flagpole on Front Street as we bring you the latest on the decorated Christmas boats in this year's competition on Ocean 89 starting at 6:30 p.m.
We'll have special guests joining us for interviews during the event. This live coverage of the Christmas Boat Parade on Ocean 89 is December 8th. This special presentation has been brought to you by lead sponsor HSBC.
Win a trip or two to the 2019 Trinidad Carnival. When you purchase a car from Bermuda Motors, your name will be entered into a draw for a chance to win an all-expenses-paid trip for two, including flights, accommodation, and tickets to the Trinidad Carnival. Visit Bermuda Motors on Church Street or bermudamotors.bm.
In the 1970s, Bermuda's athletes were a force to be reckoned with. Where have we lost our way? Well, BBC will seek to answer that question during a special show on the subject tomorrow, Tuesday, November 27th. Mike Sharp reports.
4 of the brightest minds in sports will chat about what can be done to improve sports locally. We spoke to Jacon Ednis from the Department of Youth and Sports.
Yes, it's just now or never. It's either, we talk about it and try to arrest the problem and improve, or we just continue to slide down into the backwaters of sports with sporadic international achievements. Yeah. So let's talk about it. We're talking about everything else on Ireland, which is important as well. But sports is important as well. So our department wants to push sports to the forefront.
Sports has been known to settle differences between countries.
If we're talking sport and what it can do to bring our culture together, or bring cultures together rather, bring our country together, you can't underestimate it.
Why the big drop in our achievements from the 1970s to now?
I don't know. I wasn't born in the 70s, so I can't tell you what you guys were doing, but from just generally talking to athletes at that time, they dedicated a lot of their spare time to sport, to their craft, which we don't really see much of today. When I say much, I mean the average athlete going for a run after work. That type of stuff, which was commonplace back in those time, is not so commonplace right now. You may see smatterings of it, but the average athlete was doing that back in the day. The average athlete doesn't do that right now.
Funding is becoming difficult to come by.
Funding is extremely difficult, and sponsors keep their eye on it. It's all about putting out the right product. And it doesn't just start with administrators, it starts with the athletes, making sure they're doing what they've got to do on and off their respective field of play. And so that, more funding can become available. Yeah.
We asked Jacon Ednis how many youngsters out there does he think will pursue sports as an avenue for college.
I think there are a lot, but I think if the pathway is not really there in front of them, they don't really pursue it. When I was coming up, I played cricket for the love of it, not because I was looking to go to school or because I was looking to become a professional. I just wanted to play because I was halfway decent at it and because I loved it.
And you had a lot of family in there.
Right. Too. But going away to school to play cricket, traveling the world to play cricket happened. But I put the work in for it. I didn't play cricket because I wanted to go to school. I played cricket for the love. So if more kids do what they have to do because they love it, you know, the results will come.
Sure. And we're going to ask people to tune into Sports Real Talk.
Tomorrow at 8.
8 o'clock?
Yeah, 8 o'clock, right after David Muir, right?
Yeah,
right after him.
Okay.
And that's all from us here on Bermuda Tonight. Don't forget, Let's Talk with host Gary Moreno airs live tonight at 8 o'clock on ZBM TV 9. Gary sits down with Leader of the Opposition, Craig Cannonier, for an hour-long discussion. You can also stream it live on the Bermuda Broadcasting Facebook page. Don't miss it. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.